Corey, grade 5, this is activity number 13 in the page 113, our textbook. It says, record the evidence like a scientist, the sun and the plants. Now that you have learned about energy flow in ecosystems, watch the video about the sun and the plants again. You first saw this in the section named Wonder. Before we started the video, I need someone to tell us how the energy flow in ecosystems. How the energy flow in ecosystems. Can anyone tell? Yes, Mu'taz? Mu'taz, I can't hear you. Mu'taz? Okay, Jasser?
Yes, Mister.
Yes.
Uh,
How
the
energy flow in ecosystems.
plant absorb sunlight, then the rabbit or deer or rat eats
Yes.
uh, eat plants, then wolves or snakes, then the eat.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, Amr.
Yes, Mister.
How energy flow in ecosystems.
Okay. First, plant use sun to make their own food.
Yes.
Then a rabbit come and eat it. Then a snake come and eat the rabbit. Then
Yes.
an hawk come and eat the rabbit.
Thank you
And
very much.
snake.
Okay, this is great. Thank you. Okay, guys, now let's watch the video and move on.
As we mentioned, the sun is a star. It's a huge object that's 1 million times larger than Earth. It's also the closest star to us. You describe. What does the sun look like? The sun looks very hot, and its surface is actually moving. This movement is the result of very hot gases and other materials exploding. Temperatures on the sun's surface can reach 1.7 million degrees Celsius.
Okay, guys. Now let's talk together. How can you describe the sun and the plants as you saw in the video? It's okay. Do you remember the can you explain question, the one highlighted in yellow? How can energy that the animals use for body repair, growth, motion, and body warmth, how all this energy can be traced back to the sun? How can you tell that the origin or the source of energy inside our body is the sun? Can anyone answer this question? How can the energy that the animals use for body repair, growth, motion, and body warmth, how it can be traced back to the sun? Can anyone tell? Jawad?
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. When you start the video, the sound were low.
Yes, I know the sound was low, but then it was high, and we already have seen this video in the last session. This is not a new one.
Okay. How can the energy animal use for body repair, growth, motion, and body warmth be tracked back to the sun?
Yes. Okay, thank you, Jawad. Mu'taz?
Mr.
Yes, Mu'taz.
When when an animal is killed, the energy is transferred back to the sun.
This never happens, and we never studied something like this. The meaning of traced back to the sun means how can you tell that the energy in our bodies, for example, its main source or it came from the sun? How can we tell that the energy in the animal's body came from the sun? Can you describe the way? How the animal gets the energy inside its body from the sun? Actually, animals, they eat plants, right? Mu'taz?
Yes, Miss.
Animals eat plants, right?
Yeah.
Or they eat
And the-
other animals that ate plants, right? In this
Yeah.
case, the animals get the energy that their body needs from eating other plants. And those plants, the energy inside their bodies, they got it from using the energy of the sun, right? In the process photosynthesis. Do you
Yeah.
remember it?
Yeah,
So
I do.
this is how we can trace. Trace means to keep track or to know the origin, the source, where these animals got the energy from, right?
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Mu'taz. Okay, guys, then let's move on. This is the question in the section of questions, the same as the can you explain? Okay, then do you remember the evidence of reasoning? This is what we studied in the previous part. And now write your scientific explanation for what we studied. Let's read this part together. I need someone to read. Mustafa?
Okay, teacher. All of the energy that animals use can be
Traced back to the sun. Slowly, Mustafa, please. Slow down.
energy is transferred from one organism to another when they eat or
Are
are
eaten. Yes.
The sun provides the energy for the food web, allowing plants to make their own food.
Yes.
Then an animal will eat the plants, and another animal will eat that animal, and so on. Little energy is
No,
transferred
every time we are here. Every time.
every time an animal is eaten. It passes on about 10% of its energy because only a little energy is transferred. There are more plants and animals at the bottom of the food web than at the top. It is the only way there will be enough energy for the organisms to survive. The sun starts it all.
Excellent, thank you. So the sun starts providing the energy for all the living things on Earth, including humans, because we eat animals that ate plants that used the energy from the sun, and we eat plants that already use the energy from the sun to grow and get bigger and build their own food, right? So the sun starts it all. Okay, guys, now let's move to the next activity. This is activity number 14. It says analyze like a scientist, STEM in action. The food for dough. Read the text, then complete the activity that follows. So let's read its part, and there is a video that we will watch together. Then we'll move to the question. So the first paragraph, Jasser.
Yes, Mr. Humans are consumers.
Yes.
They are also omnivores. Think about what you eat every day. Do you always eat the same food? Probably not.
Yes.
Most of consumers also don't eat the same thing every day. They eat a variety of things. Producers and consumers are part
Part
of
of.
many food chains.
Yes.
This is why it's more realistic
Realistic.
to model energy flow using a food web.
Thank you. So this is why it makes more sense using the food web to model the energy flow, because the producers and consumers, they are parts of many food chains, and this is how the energy is passed on from one organism to another. Thank you. Ziad, the next paragraph.
Food scientists study about the basic elements of food webs. They did this with chemistry and
Chemistry and biology. Chemistry and biology.
They help us understand which food are healthy to eat. Let us learn more about the importance of studying food science.
Thank you. Okay, the scientists, they are studying the food and the basic elements of food webs using chemistry and biology. Thank you. Hassan?
Yes, mister.
Yes, continue.
Okay. Studying nutrition gives us information about the calories
Yes,
in our food. You have
great.
heard that term calories.
Yes,
Calories are the way we measure the amount of energy in the food. Knowing how many calories we eat is important. We need a certain number of calories to carry out daily activities.
yes.
Too many calories get stored as fat in our body. This will be used later. Food
Technologists. Technologists.
technologists measure the calories in food we eat. You use a special instrument as you will see.
Okay, Hassan, excellent. Thank you. So now, guys, let's watch this video together. Pay attention, please.
Animals depend on the plants. Some animals eat the plants to get energy, while other animals eat the plant-eating animals to get energy. Some animals, such as humans, eat plants and animals for food. The food is used by the body to do things such as exercise, work, and just move. Food is chemically broken down and mixed with oxygen to release the energy needed to do things. The amount of energy food contains is measured in calories, and a special piece of equipment is used to determine this. A sample of the food is burned inside a sealed container which captures the heat energy released and uses it to heat a known amount of water. The temperature before and after burning the food is recorded and then used to figure out how many calories of heat energy are released by the food. Our bodies need a certain amount of these food calories to operate throughout the day. If you aren't active and just sit around, the extra food calories are changed to fat for use later. All plants and animals need food to live. Plants are the only ones that can make food, and as stated before, they need the sun to do that. So when we eat food, we are really using the energy from the sun that was stored in the plant.
Okay, so let's continue. Mu'taz,
Yes, Mister.
can you read the paragraph in yellow, please?
The number of people on Earth is growing up. We need to learn more about growing enough food to feed everyone. Scientists are developing ways to modify some of the main crops we eat.
This is great, thank you. So this is in order to feed everyone. Amr Muhammad, the last paragraph.
Yes, Mr. Rice is a crop grown to feed people around the world. It is especially used in Asia.
Asian.
The land available to grow rice crops is going down. This is because the number of people is going up. Rice needs a lot of space to grow. Much of land available for farming in Asia has many hills.
Thank you. Okay, guys, so now let's go on and see what this activity will ask us about. Thinking like a scientist. Look at these two images of rice fields. Imagine you are a rice farmer and you have two plots of land, two pieces of land. The two plots, they are the same size. One of the plots of land has hills and very little space near the ground. You decide to build terraces or ledges. These are like the steps of the stairs, but they are much larger along the side of the hills. Okay, then what happened? At the end of the growing season, you discover that one of the plots of land produced almost 2 times more rice. Okay, then how this is possible? Which plot of land produced more rice? And please explain your answer. Okay. So this is the first piece of land. This is a flat rice field. And in this one, this is the terraced rice field. Can you see they are like steps of the stairs, right? Okay, so which one can you guess will produce more crops, or can you guess which piece of land produced almost 2 times more rice? Can anyone guess? Can you tell? Can you guess which piece of land produced more rice and why? Come on, guys. Can anyone tell which land produced twice the rice and why? Come on, grade 5. Okay. Mustafa?
Mr. You unmuted me.
Yes, I'm asking a question and you raised your hand.
Mu'taz, you said Mustafa.
It's okay, Mu'taz.
I think the flat rice field
Can you tell us why?
because it has more crops.
Hmm, It has more crops. This is what you see.
Or
Okay,
either the other one because it has more water.
because it has more water. Okay, let's hear your friends and I'll tell you what is the piece of land that produced more rice. Thank you. Mustafa,
Okay, teacher.
yes.
The rice field.
What?
The terraced rice field.
The terraced rice field. Can you tell us why?
Because the rice love many water, so it have many water, so the rice can grow fast.
Okay, thank you. Amr Muhammad, what do you think?
The second one.
The second one? This one or this one? The up or down?
Down.
Why?
Because if there is a lake up in a hill, they can make a hole and the water come and move.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Jasser.
Truncated rice field.
Terraced. Terraced.
Terraced rice field because rice grow in water, and there is many waters in terraced rice field.
Okay, thank you. So let's read the answer together. This is even though the two pieces of land they are equal in size, as they mentioned, the terraced land has more surface area for the rice to grow. It have larger areas for the rice to grow. The rice can be grown close to the ground, yes, but also along the hillside, which increases the surface area. These terraces are a simple engineering design that has been used for thousands of years. So, as you said, the terraced rice land will produce more rice. Okay, guys, now let's move to activity number 15. Activity number 15 says, evaluate like a scientist. Review the energy flow in ecosystems. Think about what you have read and seen in this lesson. Write down some core ideas. What have you learned from this concept 2.3, the energy flow in ecosystems? So I'll give you a few seconds to think about what you already have learned from this concept. Then I'll hear you all. Okay, guys, whenever you're ready, just raise your hand. Think about what we have studied in the concept 2.3, the energy flow in ecosystems. Then tell us what do you remember or what you understood from this part. Okay, who's ready? Come on, grade 5. What do you remember from this concept 2.3? What do you remember about energy flow in ecosystems? Um,
Yes, Mister.
yes,
I understand that how food chain is made when sun come and give light energy to plant, and then plant make food their own food by photosynthesis. Then
yes,
another plant like rabbit and deer come and eat the plant.
great.
Then then the snake or the fox come and eat both of the two animals. Then
Yes.
finally the hawk eat the snake and the fox.
So this is how the energy is passed or flow from one organism to another in an ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Hassan?
I learned how the energy pyramid, like consumers,
Yes.
think
Great.
producers think primary consumers, think secondary consumers, think tertiary consumers, and I learned how the food chain passes
Yes.
from energy passes from one organism to another,
This is great.
and
And that's enough. This is great. Thank you, Hassan. Come on, guys. Anyone else? Jasir.
Yes, Mister.
Can you tell us what you
learn
understood or learned from this
I
part?
learn how energy flow in I learn how energy flow in ecosystem, and I learn type of pyramid like
The energy pyramid.
producer and secondary and I learn and I learn how
How the energy flow.
and how energy how energy
Yes.
be tracked back to the sun.
Okay. Traced back to the sun.
Just back to
Thank
the
you,
sun.
Jasir. Mustafa. Mustafa. Okay. Amr again.
Yes, Mister. I learn what is the meaning of energy pyramid. It is a diagram that shows the amount of energy available at each level of an ecosystem, and
Yes.
in each organism, when it is eating, 10% of its energy is lost. Is lost.
Is passed on. 10% is passed on to
To
the
the
next
other.
level.
Yeah. And I learned that consumers are classified by level. There are three: primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer.
Yes, excellent. Thank you. Okay, this is great. Thank you, guys.